Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how I made this UV shaker turtle. And the mold I got from Into Resin, which comes from China, and it's in two pieces. You have the top part, which is the shell, and then the bottom part is the turtle. And I'm using this crystal, I think that's how you say it, UV resin, and somehow I missed filming pouring it in the mold, but you know how that goes. And I just popped some bubbles with my little lighter there. And then I'm putting it under my UV light for 2 minutes. Now, when the 2 minutes was up, I felt like it needed to be under the light for another 2 minutes. So I did put it back under for a total of 4 minutes, 2 minutes each time. And then I demolded it. And then the top part needed to be cured a little bit more. So I did it for another 2 minutes. So there's the top of the shell. Look at that. So pretty and clear. And now I'm putting some resin in my little pot there. And I am going to pour the turtle. And I'm going to use some mica powder. And this is called moss green. So I put a spoonful of that in there. And I stirred it with my little craft stick there. And you want to make sure that you mix it all in real well. You don't want to have any mica powder sitting on top or anything like that. So I just stir it and scrape the sides until I get it all mixed up. And I know you guys need to watch me stir this. That's why I left it in there, because I don't know why. You can just go on past this. I should have at least sped it up, but I didn't. So once I get it all stirred up, I'm going to take my lighter and I'm going to pop any bubbles that are on top there. And these little lighters came 4 in a package from Amazon. And they do very well with popping the bubbles. I like that it's a shorter, I don't know, a shorter barrel on it, I guess you would say. Not like the ones with the long one on it. So I do like it a lot better. And I'm just going to pop some more bubbles because I stirred it again. And then I'm going to start pouring it in my mold. Now you can also use epoxy resin for this mold. I just decided to use UV resin. No particular reason, just that I didn't want to, I guess, wait as long, because the UV resin, you put it under the light and it cures very quickly. The epoxy resin, of course, it's going to take hours. And if you don't have a heat mat, it'll take overnight. So, yeah, I just decided to use my UV resin. And I didn't have enough of it mixed up, so I'm going to mix up a little bit more. And this time I'm only going to put my resin in there about halfway up, because I don't need a whole lot more. And then I'm just going to put like a half a scoop of the mica powder in there. And then again, of course, I'm going to have to stir that up real well. And then I am taking my lighter there and I'm popping any bubbles that are in the turtle mold itself. And then I'm just going to, again, stir up my resin with the mica powder in it. And my UV resin I did get off of Amazon. I got the package where there's 4 of those UV bottles in a package. And I do like that brand. I don't have any issues with it. So I'm going to take the lighter to my little pot there and pop any bubbles that are there. And then I see where I need to mix a little bit more because my mica was kind of floating on top a little bit. Just a little bit, not much. But I do want to mix it up a little bit better. And then pop bubbles again with my lighter. And then I'm going to pour it in my mold. Now I don't want to get it over the middle portion of the mold because I want that to be clear. So I'm just bringing it up to the middle section ledge. I don't want it to go over. And I put it under my UV light, really for a total of 4 minutes. I'm just touching it to make sure that it is cured. And then I'm going to take my UV resin and I'm going to finish filling up the mold. So I'm going to fill it all the way up to the top. So I am going to go over that middle section. And I'm just going to continue filling up the mold. I'm going to get it all the way up to the edge. And I see either some fuzz in there, I think it is, so I want to get that out. Just a couple little pieces, and then I do take my lighter to it to pop any bubbles there may be there. And then I'm going to put it under my UV light, and I believe I actually put it under there again for another 4 minutes. Well, as you can see, I did the first 2 minutes and then the second 2 minutes. So total of 4 minutes. And then I'm going to demold my turtle. So I'm just going around the outer edges and then I'm going to kind of pull it away from the center section. And I do want to put it back under my UV light for a couple minutes. And I did put my mold under there because there was a little bit of resin in my mold that hadn't cured. So I put it under there so I could get it out of my mold. So there's the turtle. So he has a clear bottom. Isn't he cute? And then his shell there. And it fits perfectly on there. And now I want to put my shaker stuff in there. And I'm just going to use these letters. I got this big package here from Hobby Lobby. So I'm just putting a bunch of letters in there. And they're all different colors. And they're kind of iridescent. And then I have one of my little butterflies, a white one. And I'm just going to put that in there also. And that's what it's going to look like with the top on. But I'm going to have to glue it on. So I was just showing you there where I'm going to put my glue. And I get out my E6000. And I have a toothpick. And I'm just going to go around. There's a little ledge in there. And I'm putting the glue on the ledge. And this is my first time making this mold. And I think it turned out pretty good. You'll have to let me know what you think about it. I watch Michelle on Glitz and Glitter make this mold all the time. And hers always turns out perfect. But this was my first time, and like I said, I'm using UV resin, but she usually uses epoxy resin for the turtle itself, and then she'll use the UV resin on the top shell. So I don't know if I said it or not. She's Glitz and Glitter on YouTube, and she has a video every day, and she does resin. I do like watching her, and I have ordered from her before. Very nice lady from Florida. And now I'm just going to put the top shell on, and isn't that pretty? That's really pretty. Now I did pick it up, turn it over and stuff like that, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just let it dry before I ever picked it up, and some of the letters did stick to that top part there once I turned it over like that. So I shouldn't have done that. And Michelle says not to do that, but yeah, I did it anyway. But there it is. Let me know what you think about the shaker turtle. I'm gonna make it some more. I won't do it online though. But here it is. I took this picture outside by the wood pile. I think that turned out really good. And again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. And I would love to hear any comments that you all might have. And if you're not subscribed, please feel free to do so. And I'll see you later.